Yeah, because when you think like, okay, I want money
Play the role.
and you want to work, you're gonna have to get work as a black man.
Right.
And the only kind of work that we get is only most likely like hustling or conforming.
Because I never want to tell anybody I had a real job. Like, even when I got a real job, I didn't want to tell anybody I had a real job. Because I want to perform and pretend.
To be a nigga.
You know what I'm saying? I want to be a nigga. I want to, you know what I'm saying?
We can't even be proud of our own accomplishments.
Right. But
take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
But it's only now I'm 36 years old and now I'm a business owner and business is going the way I want it to go. I'm able to actually
entrepreneur out here.
Yeah, I'm actually be able to be an actual man and stand on my own too and say what I want and feel what I want and know when things are wrong and be a leader in every circle that I'm in. So it's sad to see that black men even older than me that are like still pretending and they're like, nigga, what are you doing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So and it's even more sad that we're in a time of we got to be enforcing and emphasizing to protect black women. You know what I'm saying? Like, my nigga, like, if, like, it's, to me, and it's not even about...
It's weird. It's weird that the definition of masculinity includes protection.
It's not...
And we don't do it.
And we don't protect.
This is the fucked up thing. The fucked up thing is, I don't think black women want black men to load up the guns and fucking pile up in a truck and ride up and down the street.
They don't even
I think what black women want black men to do is to stand. To speak up, use your platform, disrupt the energy, get rid of the ego, speak up for us. No black woman should be attacked for saying, I'm good.
For anything.
Right. So the fact that we're in 2021 and we have to be telling black men, and I'm saying this as a nigga that's flawed. I'm a nigga that's flawed that used to believe in some of this, in majority of this fuckery.
Right. And even if we didn't believe it, we all reinforced it.
We all reinforced it and we all were a part of it.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I'm 36 and there's people that are older than me that are still stuck.
Yeah. And I feel like it's actually really sad because those people are going to be stuck forever.
Yeah.
And when we talk about change, it really comes, I don't like to say like the next generation is going to be the change and make it sound like corny like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you have to only hope. Well, we hope so, right? But it's like they're not only learning from woke people, they're not only learning from informed people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people who are knowledgeable of that stuff, right? And it's interesting because even like this is like a weird correlation, but when I talk about like racism and white people, like a white person that tells you they're not racist is racist, right? And like that is literally like you cannot be a woke, quote unquote. That's not the word I need, man. You're not an enlightened white person, right? If you literally cannot admit the fact that I feed into this system, right?
Yes,
even unconsciously, whatever. Even if I didn't benefit from it, like it's just there, right? Yeah. So that's why. So therefore, like you really cannot be essentially like a properly masculine person if you're not like addressing the fact that in nature or society we're taught to be toxic.
Mm-hmm. We're taught to be toxic. Yeah, taught to be toxic. We keep it. We enforce it. Like all of these things. As I think, and that's what I'm saying. One of the major things as black men, I think we have to do, like it's a must for us to do, is disrupt the energy.
Right.
We have to disrupt the energy.
We have to call it out.
We have to call it out.
Yeah.
We have to stop the fuckery.
Yeah.
And it's easy, but it's hard at the same time. Because if you're around a lot of it, you get tired fighting.
Of course, and not to mention, like, there's so much strength in, like, number. Yeah. And we know, like, men, like I said, the ego thing. And it's like, even if you get this one person and this one person and that one person and that one person, there is something different that is going to happen when it's 4 black men together in a room. And just, like, just being, you know what I'm saying? Like, they could all change individually, but there's something in the group dynamic of black men too. Like there is,
because like that sounds like we're innately problematic. Is that a thing?
I think you have to understand, all of us came from.
I almost think so. Whether it be like a good thing or a bad thing or an honest thing or something that's intentional or accidental. Like, I actually do feel like as a community, like if you were just like brought up the quote unquote black way, right? Then yes, you're feeding into all of the toxicity and all that stuff. It has to be something that is. It has to be something, like I said, that you are like putting on the forefront of your mind to like not feed into, right? Or else you're literally feeding into it, because this is even if it's not intentional, because if the structure of white supremacy is already like overarching everything, right? And it's telling us to be this way, whether you're feeding into it or not, it's going to be that way. And that's there. That's what I mean by that, right? So it's not really a choice that we're making.
Right.
But if the only choice that you can make in that suggestion would be to be against it. If you make no choice, then you're feeding into it.
Yeah.
But also
you can't be on the fence.
We gotta be honest with the fact that if you go against the grain and you decide to be something different, we already know what that's gonna look like.
Yeah.
Like you're going to lose.
For you.
Yeah. Like us.
I don't want to talk about it in a
You're
second.
going to lose a lot of stuff. You will be grieving a lot of things. Number one, possibly family.
Ooh.
The level of respect that people have for you when you decide to go against the grain of masculinity and what we were taught.
I have a note for you. That was a good one. You brought up something.
When are we gonna start treating family like people? Because they are people.
Yeah, hello.
And they're flawed just like people.
Hi.
Because when
they stop loving us, we still have to love ourselves.
When we talk about doing something different, we also have to just admit to ourselves that we are scared to lose the things that kept us grounded.
Comfortable.
And nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Same reason, too, why white cis men who live off of this privilege don't want to acknowledge all this stuff. They don't want to lose the comfortability and all the things that they gain from having
They
that.
can't even see it.
Well said.
So being a part of that culture, that toxic, unhealthy, masculine culture, is to be comfortable and to have the things that we're so used to having. When I was transitioning, I went through a whole phase of when I first started transitioning, I was wearing like do-rags and like pants were like down to here, just going in. And that was more
thug.
That was more acceptable.
Yes, it is.
That was more acceptable.
It's easier to just go that route.
It's easier to be that
so
way.
Great.
You're black. It's just easier for you to be.
My family and friends were more accepting of me like that. When I started dressing like this, it was like, I was like the black sheep. Like something was off when I decided to do something totally outside of the thought process of what a masculine person should do.
Absolutely.
When I was an athlete, when I stopped doing sports, they were like, yo, what the fuck's wrong with this person? Basically.
But as you just said, like, are those the things that you said when you stopped doing the things that masculine, like, but did you stop doing that, or did you just stop wearing clothes? Like, the attachment, the two is like where the problem is. Like, they are not the same thing. Like, Mom, I don't have to wear my pants underneath my ass for me to be a man. Like, actually, what don't you get?
Yeah.
Like,
but that's the thing, is what I'm trying to say, is understanding that we do like attach ourselves to these things.
Yes, because then it's easier. You know what? And even especially for those of us who are quote unquote on the margins, like, so straight men is one thing, but a gay man that's trying to like go around, or a trans man that's trying to blend in this heterosexual world, and you're black already, for you to be seen as not like the kiki, you literally must go with that. Right? There's a line that there's something that you have to fall into, which is the whole idea of realness. Anyways, like the whole, if you don't want heads to turn, you must assimilate into that. Right?
That's a fact.
And that is, so that's even why you say like how you can talk about how, I know I can bring niggas around Twisted, or Twisted around niggas, and niggas, no.
That's
because there is there's a realness
You've
factor that I've learned and adopted, first of all, by being in Gin and Finch. Because trust and believe,
wait, hold on, I gotta stop
people
you.
who know me from 10, they still see the girls doing the backflip and the splits on the basketball court. That's who they see, right? But people who just meet me now, right? They don't see that guy. It's so even hard for them to even see. Like, like I said, if I'm not, hey girl, what's up, girl? Like, if I'm not giving that, it's hard for them to even see gay. And I'm here like, girl, you gotta be kidding me. But there's so much subconscious, not even subconscious, very conscious, right? Because I decided to walk the category of wellness to begin with, right? It's a choice I made. But there's a conscious working and like
very conscious.
grooming and conditioning that I have to do like every day to make sure that I present more of a masculine, or at least know how to draw the line better. So at least when I'm being masculine, I know how to be masculine, and when I'm being cunt, I know how to be cunt.
I think that you've
not even the balance. It's just the switch. There's no balance. I'm not trying to be on the borderline. When I'm being boy, when I'm being a nigga, I'm being a nigga. My nigga. Seaside, Southside, Finch, stand up, Wagwan.
Right.
Virgo of Crescent. But when I mean kind of like, girl, like, and I said, I overdo it. And that's just also to make people also more comfortable, because I know that people are more comfortable with feminine energies. Which sucks, right? But I feel like
Dubois was talking about.
I know, it's so weird. It's so weird.
We're forced to do that.
We're forced to do it.
Sometimes I disclose I'm trans so that people feel comfortable.
Yes, you just get it out of the way. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah. Because
I can put my wrist around you. I don't have to be like...
I disclose that, people want to bring me around.
I can see that.
Yeah. I almost lost my mind.
See that, because I feel like that happens with gay guys too. It actually makes gay guys very acceptable when it comes to like being around people. Like once you admit it first, whatever, people just be like, okay, I can hang around you, like whatever, come around. Yeah, it's like, and you're gay.
I wasn't. I think we used to hang out, or like we used to go out, and I've obviously. Pillar of masculinity beside me here, and I didn't necessarily always want to go out with him because I was obviously never going to be as masculine as him or his friends, but he enforced and forced me at my house to go out with him a couple times, and of course we had a good time, whatever the case is. And I think once I got there and I was around his friends, granted we were at the club and we were all drinking, turning up and doing drugs and shit, no one cared about the things that I was thinking about, because maybe because I was with him, and it brought a sense of, I guess,
a validation protection,
validation.
But I think validation
things, right?
is the bigger
But
thing. Especially
the same way he can bring the niggas around you is the same way he can bring the niggas around me, and I'm not as masculine as like. So I think the idea again, going back, like it's about knowing who you are, truthfully, honestly, like both inside and out. Because as I said at the beginning, like there are masculinities. There's not one particular way or type, right? So like
multiple,
understanding that you can do all of them or play all of them, not necessarily for performance value, but because you actually have the ability, understanding that you are a whole human. Right,
you're all of these things. It's not actually performance.
Things. It's not one thing. Like you are all. You can be all. You are all. Because I think that's where again, the separation happens, where you want to perform or impress or do something a certain way.
Yeah.
TKO came about because Tyra was Tyra and TKO was my not Tyra. And at one point, it was like I didn't understand. Like I couldn't understand why I needed two names, because I'm the same person. And I
use a nigga.
Right, like even when my son calls me Tyra, they see a
man.
Right. So for me, I had to like let go of the idea, which then thankfully that's how TravoyInTheFlesh came about. Who pays the bills? But like I had to like combine and understand that I am a whole human being.
All of these things.
Yes. I can be Tyra.
Yes.
I can be TKO.
Yes.
I am Travoy. Like it's on me.
And that's actually so fab, because we're talking about like being the masculine and being the feminine, right? It's like, I guess, embracing all of that and bouncing back and forth and doing that stuff. That's actually what makes Twisted. And it's like, there's no substance to me if I'm only one or the other, right? So like there has to be like, this is what makes me me, the fact that I really am like an actual real Twist.
And every aspect that you look at, whether it's Tyra, TKO, TravoyInTheFlesh, Twyst, it's still masculine.
And it's still masculine.
And I think that's like what masculinity actually means. Authenticity, being true to yourself as a man. It doesn't. I have a sister, and my sister, to this day, I think she's a fucking nut. And my sister is like the type of woman that has been through fucked up relationships. So now it's a nigga gotta pay me.
Straight facts.
She's just like, I've been through enough, and a nigga gotta pay me. And I always think she's crazy because I'm like, my nigga, I'm with that. But you have to understand that not every nigga is the same. And that's what I'm saying, because even my girl My girl been through a lot of lames, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of lame niggas that I know.
We know that they're lames.
I know they're lame. Like, she know they're lame, and I know them.
We know that they're lame.
So I'm like, oh, these niggas is lame niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So fucking
So I
stupid.
understand. So I get it. You
We
know what I'm
gonna be
saying?
over here, Dion. Big up.
Big shout out to Dion. But I had to do different because of them. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And what they were giving is not what I gave. When I sat down with my woman, I told her from the jump, I was like, yo, I'm never going to work for a white man, never in my life. Never. And to other black women I told this, she was like, so you don't have plan to work. You're going to be whatless.
Yeah.
But Dion was like, nigga, I don't give a fuck what you plan to do. Let me see the plan.
Right.
And let me see you move towards this plan.
Right. Do something.
Let me see you do something.
Right.
Right.
Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, because she's allowed that space, now I wake up every morning and I'm like, hey,
3 o'clock, let's go.
I gotta fight society now. I gotta fight for my woman. I gotta fight for the people around me. I gotta make sure something comes to That's why when we were talking, you're like, oh, a lot of people want it. I'm like, nigga, no, they don't.
Nope.
Because we get up every
we
day.
know what the actual wanting. We know what actually wanting it looks like. But I will say that because a lot of people, there's lip service, right? A lot of people say that they want it, but
It sounds awesome.
Yeah, it sounds awesome, but like, if you're not doing it, it's because you don't want it.
Right. So that's like a big thing to me. You know what I'm saying? And that's a big part
language.
of like,
Here.
yeah.
No big language here.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That even
Fuck
goes
people
back to
listening
what you
to
were
it.
saying before of the group of guys, is that you can't just be with people who say they want it.
Yeah.
Or they want that. They have to actually be, you already know what it looks like to actually want to be and do something different and be your authentic self and remove all that shit.
Yeah.
So, yo, I feel like it's, I feel like I hang around with you guys and it's chill. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a celebration every time we link up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you celebrating if you're not doing anything, guys?
I always,
What are we celebrating?
and this is what I tell any group of men that I'm around. We don't have to be business all the time.
All the time.
But what has to be respected and understood is that there has to be a for what.
Right.
You ate that.
Because me, I love hanging out. But my goal behind Black Status Social Network and Speaking on the Turn and Dion Mars and all these things is I want all my friends to be in Hawaii having a 1 hour meeting with the laptops in the common room for
This
an
thing is
hour just
trying to get
making
me
money
tanned.
so we could go swim.
Niggas trying to get me tanned.
That's my goal.
I'm not doing it.
That's fab.
That's my
That's
goal.
goal.
Yeah.
Been his goal. Been his goal.
That's been my goal. I want to have Jah Grey shoot 6 pictures and get $10,000 while
And
we're
sit.
kicked up in Hawaii. I want to shoot Plot Twist in Hawaii.
Speak it.
I want Kay to make money in Hawaii,
Speak
and
it.
I want to ask Kay for $5,000, and she tossed me $5,000.
and she run that.
In the
no
black
issue.
circle.
You understand what I'm saying? I want to have a beautiful black circle of people. I love it.
With that
When
black money.
when you guys came over to shoot the podcast, the first thing we did, I hugged you guys. We had alcohol.
Libations.
Right, because I knew
Respect me.
I knew right after the love, after the welcoming, we're gonna work. And however it turns out,
That setup.
there's gonna the for what behind it is gonna be your brand grow, my brand grow,
Amen.
our brands grow,
Right.
get closer to the money.
So when we come
Right.
together,
Let's meet in the airport.
What toxicness? What,
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So
what toxicness?
the masculinity that because even for me to reach out to you, I was working out that day, and the masculinity in me was like, I don't want to think I'm soft. But then I had to disrupt the energy, and I
Masculinity
got
can be
on the.
soft.
I could have easily stopped my workout and send you a message, but I voice noted you,
Right.
and I said I'm proud of you. You are killing it.
Go off, son.
Oh my god, like, must be kind. See, I just, sorry, I didn't do that. I just do it that way because it's just easier to me.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I could have easily, with all of my friends
Emotional
around
and
me,
cunty.
just
Vulnerability.
But I'm gonna talk, I have a question about
even
that too.
today,
Fuck, this is going
me and
longer than I thought.
me and Travoy haven't spoken on a level in a while because I was upset with him.
He's so silly.
Jeez.
But when we got here, I even as hard as it was, I was like, yo, I'm disappointed in you. I'm hurt because you're my bro, and there's just a certain level of expectancy because I don't expect shit from people.
This is. I'm actually glad that you brought it up there. You're talking about like I'm hurt and stuff like that because that is the next question that I actually had. how are Black men? How do we express sadness, and how do we express like those feelings? Right. Thank you for moving it along to that. But like, yeah, how do we express those feelings of sadness and depression and like hurt and stuff like that? Are we even allowed to do so as Black men? Of course, we know we're allowed to do so.
Actually, are we allowed?
Well, I mean, like we're go for it. Go for it.
I feel like now I actually do reach out. The other day I reached out to you and I was like, yo, dude, like I feel super whack. I don't want to ask for help and whatever. And I said, yo, I actually really do need help right now. And he was like, yo, I got you. And I was like, yo, I need support. I want to be around. I feel alone. And this guy just was like, yo, you know, and that was like really, really nice. And the first time ever experienced in this body, a masculine body, that someone cared and gave me space to express that I was feeling really sad. I think before I didn't tell nobody. I didn't want anybody to think I was soft. I didn't want anyone to think that, you know, I wasn't able to
navigate by yourself.
Not in an ableist way. Not in an ableist way. Yes.
No, like I wasn't able to I wasn't able to, like, for example, people used to just be like, "Yo, man up and deal with your shit." That made me feel like I couldn't talk to nobody.
Yeah. Right.
That really? I had to man up by myself, handle it by myself, handle my shit alone. Because the minute I told
that plagues me till this day.
When I tell people, it's like and it I think, I don't know who said it, but I do feel like you can tell people that you're sad. I think you just have to really know who to tell. You cannot tell everybody. In the world of social media, I feel like I do express how I feel online, but there are certain things that you will never see me talking about online. This is something that I'll directly talk individually with somebody.
You can't let a rusty vault hold your possessions.
Oh my God. You know what I did the other day? I was having a conversation with Joy. It was so depressing. Like, it was so depressing. It was like a month ago. It was actually so fucking sad. Like, it was crying for like the night and then the morning after. And then I actually like took a picture of myself crying.
I love that.
No, I'm saying that for real. You guys, that might sound like a kiki.
No,
right?
No,
but that was the first time in my life. Like I've actually seen myself crying and stuff like that. But the reason why I did it too is because like, the reason why I was even crying was because of a conversation that we had that was like, I felt like it was so necessary, but there was so much like layers to that, and like even with thinking like us in a gay relationship, like I said, there's still like, I felt like there was a role like me as a man and Angela as a woman, kind of a thing, whatever. Like, no, there's not calling him a woman, nothing. Not calling him a woman, but whoever my boyfriend is, right? In my mind, like somehow, like I'm thinking like guy and girl, whatever. And then like the conversation was essentially really confronting like some of the ideas that I had in regards to that. Right? And it made me like so uncomfortable because it gave like, I don't know where we're going to go from here kind of thing, because like in my mind I've seen things in a certain kind of way, but I'm starting to see like it cannot be that way, right? Like it's actually wrong for me to look at it like that, and which means that the dynamic of us has to change, which means that I do not know if we're going to be together, because we're together based off of a dynamic that we've had for this many years. Or even if we didn't have the dynamic like that, it felt like that to me, and it was something that I was putting out like that, right? So now that there's an intention, well, there has to be intention exactly that.
Yes.
It is not, you know, a man and a woman. You cannot have a gay relationship, we know this, with a man and a woman, but we're like two gay men in a relationship together. And we had that conversation, and it just felt so like weird and uncomfortable, like I said, to challenge all of this. And it just even felt weird saying like, the kind of guy that I'm going to be to you essentially has to change because we need to both be men. In my mind, because we both are men. Exactly, like action clearly shows that. This thing, when I'm crippled, Miss Honey, it's because he's a man. Okay, drop a bomb on that. It's about joking. I'm joking.
Yuck.
I was talking about the
This
size.
podcast is sponsored by
The size. The size.
The size. Because as I said, shout out to big dicks. They matter.
Shout out to big dicks. They matter.
Period.
They do matter. They do matter. But yes, sorry. But yeah.
big dicks
Not
matter
to really,
and
like,
the energy too.
Amen.
yeah, so I guess like I had to confront it in myself, and it was
Hard.
I had to bring it. It was hard, but it was necessary. And since then, like since confronting it, like there's an automatic like change that happens because the reaction has to come from it, right?
Yeah.
Which is so good, and I guess it's a good way to bring us to our final question because I did want to. We can use that transition music now. Ow. Right. So our final question is because I said I want to shout you out for the work that you do because like I said I brought you a part of like I had to bring you to be a part of the Journey to Black Liberation Symposium because I
Thank you.
believe
Appreciate it.
in the work that you do, even if it's
It's
just
ministry.
social. Us in Black spheres, we are social beings, right? Like I said, I say it all the time, like the things that we do, the value that we place on things, we might say like dollar, it's not really dollar in
about
the Black
dollar.
community, it's word of mouth. If we're not talking about it, then we don't actually value it in our community. And trust me, I believe that Black Status Social Network is very valued in the community. And the work that you're doing,
Out of every-
the work that you're doing is fuck valuable. You're also valued, right? And I think that the work that you're doing is trailblazing. Why? Because by attacking the social way that we're set up,
status.
you're influencing the next generation, right? And that's the only real, and the current one for sure. But the next one is where, like I said, I feel like all the impacts in societal impact is done through the next generation. And what you've set up is a way for people to actually live in the next generation, like for the next generation, where I believe should be like, there should be less care about gender and sexuality. I believe that the next generation of
should
people,
become the norm.
yeah, but I believe the next generation, mostly the end of it, maybe,
Indeed.
maybe not the end of it, but at least in predominant societal spheres, the end of gender and heteronormative normativity, right, will happen because of the work that you do, right? So I guess
That's crazy.
what I want to ask, what I really want to do is ask, like, when you foresee Black gay men and Black straight men and Black bisexual men, Black cis men, Black trans men, when we all come together, right? What do we actually think can be accomplished? Because we know, like, I believe that there's no bigger fear of white people that white people have than the unity of Black
Black people.
men.
Hold on,
Right, Black
From all
men.
walks of life.
Okay, the world is really scared of Black men coming together, which is why like come on, like the protests are not really stormed like that because it's mostly like women and kids there, and
Which
stuff
we
like that.
appreciate and,
right? Which we're not saying nothing is wrong about that at all, but when Black men come together, there is a different kind of response that happens, right? So from you as a straight man who's essentially, like I said, doing this trailblazing work, and of course we'll talk about it after too, but like, what do you see in the future if this work continues to happen?
First and foremost,
You move to tears.
I'm crying.
I mean it for real.
And
Like, I mean it for real.
I don't even fuck. I'm trying to fight tears.
It's okay to cry here,
Nah, but I
especially with this
fuck.
conversation. I know, like, I don't like being so. I don't.
Y'all are so silly.
This is fucking crazy.
You don't like it. It is what it is.
I'm trying to fight tears.
I understand.
But when we started the network, it was just for Black people to be,
exist.
that's what it is.
because I find like there's a war going on outside that Black people ain't safe from.
Period.
And the first thing that we have to do as Black people is love us, so it's easier to fight out there. I don't give a fuck what anybody's sexual preference is. I don't give a fuck what anybody chooses to do. I don't give a fuck what anybody chooses to love. I don't give a fuck. Just keep it here. Love here, right now, so it's easy. Whether it be financial, whether it be being voices for people. Spiritual. Atheist. I don't give a fuck. Because they're ripping us apart. White people are killing us.
They're gays.
They're killing black people. They're killing gays. They're killing. And then on top of that, we gotta fight what we have to give the community. We have to give money. We have to give sex. So when do we get rest? When do we get the love? When do we hug each other? When do we hold each other? When do we tell each other we're important? Because I want to fight for people who love me, who I love. I want to fight for Twisted. I want to fight for Travoy. I want to fight for Dion. I want to fight for Kay. Because none of that shit matters to me. I met Kay a long time ago. She probably doesn't remember. And she came into the club and she stood by herself. Ask her, she's right here. I pulled her by her hand. I said, no, we're not doing that.
I came with Cham to social Sundays.
She's right there. And I pulled her by her hand and I said, no. We're not doing that. You're going to come stand here. I don't even know your name. But I don't give a fuck. You're black. You're my family.
My family.
Travoy, I came up in a wild time. Travoy was openly...
Guys, I wasn't openly anything.
Wait.
Well, he wasn't openly...
I was just
But like,
like,
you dragged out, I guess.
Right, he was dragged
Fine,
out.
but
I was just
still,
like-
but I saw...
I already knew.
What I saw of you, I thought you were openly gay. And like I said, I do it all the time.
fucked up thing...
Travoy was the only gay in Jane and Finch.
Listen,
the only
one.
The only gay in Jane and fucking Finch was my mother. Travoy. Dear.
Yeah.
The blood clot baddest chick.
I mean, you know.
I can't believe you just said that. but that's even when Travoy was when we were going to church together. Travoy was coming to church playing Beyonce on the piano, and from then I was like, this nigga is gay, and people didn't want to even touch him.
Right.
But I was like, nigga, you.
I was talented.
In my head, when people were
always allowed you to pump right on.
when people were distancing themselves from him, I was like, how would I look distancing myself from somebody I met at church? Where God is love, no matter what, I'm gonna I don't. And then from the street side, everybody didn't want me to fuck him because he was gay, but in my head I'm like, this shit don't make no sense to me. The first time I met Jah, I was introducing Jah to people as a woman. Jah pulled me to the side and said, that's not how I'm identified. And me, I'm a nigga. Like, I'm like, what is he talking about? What are you saying to me?
What are you saying to me?
It's no shade.
But I have to respect people.
Yeah.
If you're black and you're a person and you want to be identified a certain way, respect people's shit.
Period.
I don't give a fuck what their walk of life is. You gotta go into your motherfucking white boss's office and call them Kathy.
I'm out.
You gotta call them Miss fucking Kathy every fucking day. So you're telling me it's easy
to respect them.
for you to respect fucking white people,
Fact.
but it's hard for you to respect your people,
Fact.
Your brother.
your brother, your sister. And this is another reason why I started Black Status Social Network, because in Slow-Ronto, all these fucking organizations are pro-black, but pro-black, but not this
Stop
type.
a bomb.
Pro-black, but not
We need
this
another
type.
bomb.
Pro-black, but not
Yes.
this. Pro-black, but not
Yes.
this. And us as Black Status Social
Yes.
Network said, you guys have to be the goofiest set of fucking people, shunning the most powerful set of people.
People.
The ones that you neglect the most, you know.
You cannot. I don't give a fuck who you are, how many followers, how many fucking YouTube likes, how much time Drake has liked one of your fucking posts. You will not find another fucking Jah Grey outside of this community. You will not find another Twisted outside of this community. You will not find another TKO outside this community. You won't find another me. You will not find another Dion Mars. You know what I'm saying? My woman is a bald black woman that chooses to call herself a dark skin, that calls herself a black queer woman. You know what I do? I stand back. I let her do her fucking thing. Because that's the queen, and that's it. Because how long are we going to pretend?
How long?
No shade.
And I've been watching every
It's
Slow-Ronto
no shade.
organization do fuck all. and not grow.
Sloranto. It's in the name.
And I just got tired.
And they're not growing.
And they not.
And you know the shade is like in the fruits, you shall know them. And if they're not presenting any fruits or reaping any fruits, how will you know them? Well, the reason why you don't know them is because you're not reaping any fruits.
everybody has labor pains, right? Then where's the child? If everybody's going through labor, right?
Where's the
child? We started as a small organization that has gone from Philadelphia to New York to North Carolina because there's people that are thirsty for blackness but have been shunned
outside.
And people are also thirsty for this kind of blackness. And I want you to understand, like, it's not like this big, like, foreign concept anymore. Like, people really want this kind of blackness where we just get to be and not perform. And it's like there's really nothing else to it. There's nothing else to it. If you're like, black, we love you.
Where do the hoes go? Where do the sex workers go? Where do the sluts go? Where do the gays go? Where do the trans go? Where do the scammers go? Because I love the scammers.
Love me a scammer.
Where do the thieves go?
And
scammers hit me up.
You want to know even like take it even further? Because yeah, the gays might quote unquote go to the village, but are the black gays welcome in the village?
No.
The what?
Of course, we know that we're not welcome there, so we actually do need a black space that's for us. It's better for us to be, like I said, in the black sphere with black straightened people. Like,
I'd rather be in a room full of homophobic men than be in a room full of white people. I'm not. I will not tell a lie.
I didn't want to say like that.
I would rather be in a room filled. I would rather go to the barbershop.
But I would really say it like that.
I'd rather go to the barbershop than go stand in a room with white people. I refuse.
I'd rather be at the barbershop than cruising Tango.
That part.
That's for me.
I don't even know what that is. So,
but that's what I'm saying. And people don't understand that, like, there is an importance in the black structure. And once we start to understand that as black straight men, there's something to fight for. Because I promise you, the for what in black men is fucked.
Oh.
Black men have no, that's the problem.
That's why niggas ain't
Black
shit.
men have no for what. That's why I promise you, I'm the least judgmental, non-condemning individual you can ever find. But once I get around any black man and there's no for what to you, and don't ever think that for what means you gotta contribute to me, or even if you're saying you're doing fucked up shit, because I'm a nigga that likes some fucked up shit. But what's your for what? What's your for what? If you want to, I've seen men, and I've also been a part of it, lie to women to get vagina.
This is what accountability looks like, by the way.
Fair? Okay.
Not fair. That's ridiculous.
It's what happened.
Right. It's fair. It's not right. It's not right, but it's fair.
Right.
Because I'm lying to get in that hole too. No?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But after that, what's the for what?
Goodbye, yo.
What's the for what? And that's why it's hard for. That's the only thing I want black men to do is to take time and think about what your for what is. After you're done doing all from the streets, if you're in the streets and you're doing this for other niggas, your for what is fucked up.
Make it make sense.
If you're a nigga in the streets and you're out there hustling, shooting, banging, and you're out here to get money for your family, I could, alright, go do your thing. Your for what? It's fucked up, right. Nigga. You fucked up, but
only because society says so.
Yeah, I'm saying, don't get caught.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If you're a thief and you're out there stealing for nothing, my nigga, that's goofy. But if you're out there trying to feed yourself, you're trying to feed your family, you're trying to better yourself, my nigga, go by all means, do your thing.
It's no shade.
I feel like black men also have to, like, accept the fact that, there are multiple things that can exist within you.
Oh my God.
Instead of trying to be just one way of what we spoke about before, understand that we, as human beings, men, women, anybody that falls in the between, we have, like, the privilege to be able to be fluid.
Yeah.
Within ourselves.
True.
And I think if we just really, everybody really just kind of really sat there and really thought, wow, this person's a very complex person, just like me. Then I think that we would be able to have empathy and give people
that
grace to be.
Yeah.
To be.
Black mirror.
How can we be?
Black mirror.
How could we be if we do not give grace?
Yeah.
But how can we give grace to others if I can't even give grace to myself? if I can accept the fact that I'm a complex, fucked up, flawed human being,
Yeah.
I love you, I love you, I love you.
Yeah.
All you have left is love, really.
Yep.
Because at the
Because
end
I
of the day,
understand.
Super important.
But two people are too busy checking for other people and
Not
what they're
busy
doing and what they're
enough.
not doing.
Shut the fuck
they're
up.
not busy enough. They're not busy enough.
How can you
Come on. If I say it all the time, if you're not spending every waking moment, didn't I say it on? If I think of anything outside of myself, by choice, obviously I think of
'Cause it's
other
by
people.
choice.
By choice. If
Yes.
I think of anything outside of myself, I'm clearly not busy enough.
enough?
Okay.
The
Yes.
fuck? I need to
How do you have
unlearn
so much time
all the
doing-
toxic every second. It's there. It's around me. I have to unlearn. It's constant.
Even when I'm not busy, I'm busy.
I'm busy.
Because that's what makes, but that's
Fuck
what
outta
really
here.
makes you a man,
Yeah.
right? And at the end of the day, it's no shade, but the whole hope is that we're doing this, like you said, not just to be, but there's a for what,
Yeah.
what?
right?
Yeah.
And
Intention.
make sure that exactly that you make sure that you put intention to that, and that you actually have a goal, right? So that you're able to be a good black man, just not for yourself, but for the other ones coming up, because we know that the world is already not. The world is set up against us, right? And I have to thank you guys real quick because time is against
Nah, thank
us.
you. Thank
And
you.
I really appreciate all of your input on this subject, and just know that the conversation isn't done, but the conversation is not. We didn't start the conversation either, right? But we're just continuing the conversation and hoping that more people will have this conversation and ingest this. And remember that the only way that you can like actually fight this is like to confront all of the toxicity within you and that you've been taught, right? So make sure it's all about reflection. We're not calling nobody out or nothing like that.
It's no
really
shade.
about looking in and making sure that you do the work within you to be the best man that you can be. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the plot twist. And don't get
That
it
was well
twisted.
good. Well done.
With twisted. And don't get it twisted. With twisted. And don't get it twisted. With twisted. And get a cut from twisted. Please stop putting my
$40.
from twisted.
40
Oh my God! Wow.
each.